Q&A for Tiffany. Welcome, everybody. How does it get any better than this? Hey, thank you for the 30 minutes later. You have no idea how much that helped me. 30 minutes. I love, you got like people like Joya Sala who are in Australia right now, and she's probably like, phew. 30 minutes later, it means it's 7:30 a.m. instead of 7 a.m. So yeah, hey, I'm going to give some first home play for you guys. Will you go to Dane's YouTube channel after and listen to his live? It's brilliant. He started 30 minutes ago. So there you go. I also got to listen to 30 minutes of that. But the thing about it is he talks about using the access consciousness tools and like using the access consciousness tools and the relaxation that you can choose. So there's a whole bunch of questions in here, and I will read through some of them and look at them, etc. There is some. God bless you. One of the facilitators has basically sent in a question asking about everything that just occurred in 5 days of CF training in Australia. That's a no on the Profit Club in one call. We had the most phenomenal CF training we've ever had so far. Like usually there's like maybe, one or two things that show up that are like, boom, like in this big, change. Every fucking day there was like 1, 2, 3 things that showed up that changed everything. We finished the class and I went, what the hell just happened? It was just like, oh my God. And I was one of the people on stage. It's like, I've never listened to a class that I facilitated, and I'm listening to this class and it's just amazing. So please, I'm going to talk about some stuff that showed up, but here's the thing. You have to be willing to follow the energy and talk about the tools as they show up and not deliver a 5-day CF class in one Profit Club class. So I know there's a fair few of you guys are on here and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah. I also highly recommend Dane's Dive In. If you don't have Dane's Dive In, it's brilliant. He does like a monthly, well, he does monthly processes, but it's also Dane. So he tells, stories or puts little tools and things like that in there. I would highly recommend that. Sneak preview, I always get to hear the following month early because he's so amazing and he sends it to me, and April month is off the charts. I've listened to it like 4 times yesterday. It was incredible. So that's my little thing that I want to say. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about too is actually using the tools. I was talking to a friend the other day, and some of you are old enough to remember this. Like, how many of you were alive and happening when there was no internet? There was no mobile phone. It's like, how did you do your school assignments? It's like buying encyclopedias. So I recently just got my family's set of encyclopedias. I'm going to set it up because it's so you do it, I don't know, an assignment on India, and you'd go to the encyclopedia and look up India and look at what the population was, what the religions were, and that's how you did all of your studying was through encyclopedias. You couldn't look up the internet. I know some of the younger people, and I can hear myself saying the kids nowadays. The younger people are like, what? No mobile phone? Yeah, no mobile phone. We played outside until the lights came on in the street. And even then you'd be like, oh, Mum, I didn't see the lights go on, and you would just play outside and you would be outside. Here's something I want to bring up to you. You have so much access now to so much. There is one access consciousness facilitator from Hungary. She literally learnt to speak English from watching, and she actually speaks good English, from watching Dane's YouTube videos and the Joy Business videos. And she changed her whole life she would watch all these videos that the Joy Business facilitators did, and everyone was talking about their favorite tool. And she wrote down every tool and she used them, right? That was all from YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. If you're not on it, subscribe. It's like Dane has one, Access has one. So many of the facilitators do. There is so much stuff that you have access to out there in the world, okay? So it's brilliant. And how did we get so lucky? Here's the other piece I want you to have a look at. Now indulge in, you no longer had access to all of those videos. You no longer, we couldn't talk on Zoom here. You didn't have your mobile phone. Or when you first got a mobile phone, guess what it did? It made phone calls. That's all it did. So you didn't pick up your phone, and how many times do you do it? And I would go to look at the weather or something, and then I'm like, oh, okay, yep, Gaia wants that, yep, Yakuza, and then you just get lost in your phone, right? It's like how many times do you watch something on YouTube and then you get lost on YouTube? How much of the stuff that is going on in your life is actually yours? Just take a moment to have a look at that. Because you lived the next week in your life and you had no internet, which means no emails. If you wanted to talk to someone, you picked up the phone. Oh yeah, and guess what? You had those phones that, brr, brr, it'd suck if someone had zeros and nines in their number and then that was engaged because you just have to call back. Or it would ring out. You just have to call them back. You never got in contact with someone unless, leaving a message was a big thing. Like that would became the big, something like that. So now picture your life, all the problems that you currently have in your life, especially the money ones, because there's a lot. Nearly every single one of you write in about money, okay? So now picture your life. You no longer have a mobile phone. You no longer have internet. I mean, in Australia, our TV was like 4 channels. And I don't know if some of you are old enough to remember when it'd be like, I don't know, 10 or 11 or 12 o'clock at night. Then it would just go into the screen that was, bzzz, because TV was over. You couldn't watch TV at 1 a.m. in the morning, right? It would shut down because they're like, no, you should be in bed now. And you got to go outside. What would you choose? The only way that you could interact and engage with people was if you actually reached out to them. What would you choose? How much more would you have to be in question of what would actually work for you, what would be fun for you, what would be joyful for you? And here's a big question is, would your money problems exist the way they do today? Like how much of the poverty mentality and poverty consciousness are you choosing that is not yours? And everything at that is times a Godzilla where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and on, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, proverbids, creations, bases, and beyonds. So here's a little like story as well. It's like in my years of so I have an Excel spreadsheet, right, that shows how much money I earn, where I earn it, etc. And I do that for me. I'm pretty sure we have the link, and if we can put it in the Profit Club Telegram thread, the link to not my finances, but so that you can do this as well, and you can work out. There's two things. One, you can work out how much it costs to run your life, and the second one is also looking at the amount of money that you earn, because so many people do this thing of going, "Oh, I don't have any money. I don't have any money. I don't have any money." If you actually sit down and have a look at the money you earn, right? And so my Excel spreadsheet sort of says how much, like what I've earned it from, because I have multiple income streams. And then I have a column of, you know, putting that amount over there and then ticking it off if I've paid my 10% account, my honor account, and also my joy of taxes. I pay 10% into joy of taxes, and I mark off when I've paid that as well. So I'm really clear on what I earn. Okay, and so I can see, you know, and I started this actually. I'm going to have a look when I started this because I have it here in front of me. I started this in uh, 2005. So we do our financial year in Australia. It ends at the end of June. So the financial year, I do it for financial year is 5-6, right? In that year, I earned $80,000. That's Australian dollars. So I earned $80,000, and I remember earning $80,000 and being like, "Are you kidding me? Like $80,000? That is so much money. What the hell am I going to do with all this money?" Right? And then as the years kept going, I kept increasing and increasing and increasing. Now, I'm going to say my the most amount of money that I've earned was in the two is 21, year 21, 22, 2021 to 2023, right? So, and my income has gone down quite a bit since then for various choices that I've made. Like one of them, I actually ended up in hospital and I couldn't walk, and I just chose to just relook at a whole bunch of things I was doing. So I sort of had a bit of a sabbatical, as David would say, just to, have a look at my travel and all of that. But here's the thing. And somebody's question is in here, which I was talking about in your tax returns. If you want to buy a house, etc., what the banks like to see is as you earn money, which all the years I've been earning money has gone up like this. And if you can't see me, it's like it's just gone up on a good, slow, comfortable scale, right? It's like, so the banks are like, yes, we're happy with this. She seems reliable and dependable, okay, because it's going up. It's not doing this up and down thing. For the last 2 years, my financial payment has gone down quite a bit, right? So it's gone down quite a bit, and I've got all of these mortgages, etc., for different investments that I have, and I'm trying to remortgage at the moment because they're charging me basically too much. And yesterday I got declined from 2 banks because I am no longer considered reliable with the amount of money I'm not earning. Okay. I'm telling you this because I have money stuff that shows up too, right? It might be on a different scale as to what you are functioning from. Some of you, it might be more, some of you, it might be less. Okay. But the point is, what are you making relevant about your money stuff that isn't? And everything that is times a Godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100 shorts, boys, provids, creations, bases, and beyonds. So this morning I got up and I got up and I went in the bathroom, I was brushing my teeth, and my whole back started to tighten up, like it has done before when I ended up in hospital. And I went, holy shit. And I went, okay. I was like, what's going on? So I went and actually laid back down. So that's why I'm very grateful for the extra 30 minutes, because I was up at like 5:30 a.m., but I needed it. I required this. So I went and laid back down and I just put my hands on my body and I was like, okay, body. And I was like, first thing I did was apologize, because yesterday I just ran around like fucking doing everything. Like I just had errand after errand after errand and I was exhausted. Like Sarah Watt, she spoke to me during the day and with this tone. And I went, why does it feel like you're talking to Frankie, her dog? And she said, because that's the tone I use when I talk to Frankie when she's making silly choices. And I was like, fair enough. I'm like her dog right now making silly choices because we're leaving tomorrow morning to go to Uluru, right? And I was trying to get everything done. Today is a different day. So the first thing I did was I put my hands on my body and I was like, hey body, I'm really sorry that I've created this. And I started to, and you can do this too, guys. It's like if you want, wherever you are right now, it's like even just put your hands on your body. And as you take a breath, it's like I just asked for space between the molecules and to relax my body. And then it's a little windy here today. So, and I have my door open and I can hear the ocean and the wind. So and you can access this. You don't need to have an ocean near you to access this, okay? So I asked for the ocean and the sounds of the waves and the wind to just contribute, like, what's the word, acoustically to my body, okay? So you have this acoustic wavelength going through your body. And every time you create a problem, every time you create like something that's like havoc or doubt or poverty conscious, you create this structure and this rigidity, and it's basically not the reality you have to choose. It's somewhere we decide that reality is more important than the reality we could be choosing, the reality of magic and miracles. So I lay there and I drifted off for like 30 minutes. And what I did was had my hands on my body and I listened to the wind and I listened to the ocean and I did a money energy pool. Okay, when's the last time you guys have done that? I've got a free money energy pool on my YouTube and a free business money energy pool on my YouTube. And then I've got ones in my shop that are ridiculously cheap anyway for a whole series. You don't even need, you can listen to that if you want. But for you, right now, you get to choose a different reality. Okay? And it's like you get to choose a different reality and stop looking at what is wrong and start asking for something different. It's like how much are you choosing suffering instead of the freedom that you could be choosing? And everything at that is times a Godzilla, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, proverbs, creations, spaces, and beyonds. So one of the things that we did speak about was hardwiring. How many of you are hardwired to have a money problem? Everything at that is times a Godzilla, we destroy and uncreate it. All right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, proverbs, creations, spaces, and beyonds. So yeah, and thank you. Salama said that when I spoke of the havoc, etc., and perceived the difference in your body when you breathe, it's different with the acoustical wavelength, and that's what we are. Okay, we are this acoustical wavelength, and we create this hardwiring to have a problem, to have the poverty mentality. So poverty consciousness, Gary's also doing a call on it in a couple of weeks. Poverty consciousness is not just lack of money. Okay, that's almost like the result that shows up from choosing poverty consciousness. Like you can go to the place of so how many of you are willing to receive magic and miracles, but when they show up, then you somewhere in your world you start going, oh, this is, this is too good to be true. This is not going to last forever. And you have this place where you will start to lessen the magic and miracles because then you can maintain and stay human rather than so here's another home play. I want you to acknowledge the magic and the miracles that show up. And it could be the smallest of things. Like the other day, I have a friend of mine who their dog was being put down, and she's had this dog for a billion years. I know that's exaggerating. It's not a billion years, but a long time. And she was, super upset. So, and her daughter, and they're just so beautiful. And so I asked my assistant to send some flowers and just a little note to say, hey, love you guys, thinking of you, and a bottle of champagne, and to say, enjoy your life, right? And I knew, because they were getting put down, I knew the time, and I said, can you send it on Friday afternoon? It was Friday at 6 p.m. and I pinged my assistant and said, hey, did you send this? And she went, fuck, I forgot. And I was like, damn, because the timing was what I wanted, the timing was perfect, right? Is so that, this afternoon. So she rings on a Friday afternoon in Australia, rings the woman that we usually use to send these gifts, and it's near where she lives. So my friend had it at her house by 6:30. It was done. That's a miracle, right? That's the magic. Like the universe has got your back. But how many times do you go, oh, that was a fluke? Or, that happened because of blah, blah, blah. No, that showed up because we were willing to have it and we were willing to receive it. How many times do you not receive the magic and the miracles that shows up because you'd rather maintain your poverty mentality? And everything at that is times a Godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, proverbs, creations, spaces, and beyonds. And Anna Maria, when you said you woke up this morning freaking out about money and then you chose to make a coffee and run the judgment clearing with money, you totally shifted the energy. Fucking brilliant. That's exactly what I'm talking about, guys. You have these tools. You have all of our YouTube channels. You're on the Profit Club. Don't forget to download your calls, because just in breaking news, in case, I know the amazing concierge tell you this all the time, but you get it when you get it and you hear it when you hear it. In the month, so we're in the month of March, you can download the calls that we've done. You can actually listen to everything else. You can't download it, okay? But you can listen to everything else. We're almost a year old. Did you know that? In April? will be 1 year old. I'm like, damn. So there is so much that you can listen to. This shit is not yours, you choose it. Okay. So when you choose the poverty mentality, you're refusing the magic and the miracles. So what other choice do you have? For me, I did a money energy pool, right? And it's like this morning, and I have so much more relaxation in my body. And I also went, okay, today is going to be, I have to pack, but that's also about me. I like having a lot of time, like a lot of hours to pack. I do the most random things. Like I'll bake cookies when I'm packing because I just like, why not sidetrack myself or do something else? But I don't mind if I have a whole day to pack and then I'm just, cazzeggiati, like the Italian word, just sticking around. It's what I choose. Okay. It brings me joy and it makes me happy. Okay. So what lie are you buying about your choices, your life, and your reality that maintains poverty consciousness? And everything that is times a godzillion when you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100 shorts, boys, probeds, creations, bases, and beyonds.